Hello and welcome to Pop Along RC. We need to get some new cars.
We need to get some new cars because although we've been running our TT01s for a little while and we still love them, fancy a change.
We do, but there's so many options out there at the moment. Hopefully if you're regular on the channel, you will see that we have had a look at several different cars over the last few months. We were at the BRCA Clubman's, that was very good, with the MTC
that was
cars.
Good, yeah.
They have the four-wheel drive and the two-wheel drive fronties.
Yep.
That's a very interesting class, isn't it?
Yeah, we've looked at those. They look okay. We've seen the Mardaves. They're quite a nice little go-to car, aren't they?
Yeah. And do you know what? I actually, for a fun night out of racing, the Aylesbury Club with the Mardaves, but also the Tamiya trucks. That
Tamiya trucks, yeah, they
look like a lot of fun. However, we've already got our club racing fix with our TT01s at the moment, and we want to go to something a little bit bigger. We
do. I think, you know, we talk about the Iconic Cup quite a lot on our channel, but it's been really, really good, hasn't it? Because it's been nice to race at a high level and enjoy those races that we've done. But it kind of limits us, doesn't it, really?
It does a little bit with the Tamiya class. So that's why we need to find a car where we can pretty much rock up anywhere, and we can drive at a slightly higher standard. And I'm not saying I'm not even after winning these big comps. I just want to take part and be a part of the atmosphere and be a part of those big comps. We made a big mistake, didn't we?
We did make a big mistake.
What was that mistake?
This was a long time ago, though. We went straight into touring cars, didn't we?
We did.
High-end touring cars. The car of choice that I had was the Schumacher, at the time, the Schumacher Mi8 LP, which was the newest version of their touring car.
And at that time, I was running the TRF420x. I may have had the 416X, but I think I just had the 416. But again, expensive, wasn't it?
Expensive, yeah. We didn't really know enough about them, did we? Set up and this, that, and the other. But yeah, you had to have deep pockets back then, and I'm pretty sure you kind of do now as well, right?
Quite possibly, but that's what this video is all about. We're going to do a little bit of research and have a look at how much it will cost for us to get ourselves racing in the touring cars. So if you are looking to get into touring car racing, 1/10 scale, four-wheel drive touring cars, then these are the chassis that you can get at the moment. Now, this may surprise you, it may not. The most expensive car. Go on then, what brand do you reckon it is?
Well, I know what brand it is, actually.
Go on then, what is it?
It's Tamiya.
It is the Tamiya TRF420x chassis. Now that comes in just for a rolling chassis, no electric.
But is it rolling? Does it come with wheels? I bet it don't, does it?
No, it's not even a rolling chassis.
It's just the chassis.
It's just the chassis. And that comes in at a staggering £769.
700 for a chassis.
For a chassis.
That possibly doesn't even have wheels.
Yeah,
so
this here this is an old Mi1. That is a chassis.
So that's what you'd get.
You'd get that, but you'd pay over 750 quid for this bit of the car.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to get one of those.
No. So in second place, go on then, what do you reckon? You knew the first one.
Second place, I would probably say Awesomatix.
Do you know what? It's not. In second place, it is the XRAY X4 graphite. That comes in at 620 quid.
Wow. Does it have tyres and wheels?
I don't think it does, boss.
Wow. These are, I mean, you know, they are expensive cars, but they are very, very nice.
They are very nice.
You get a good car for your money.
You do indeed. Yeah. If you can't quite afford 620 quid, maybe you could, if you're lucky, you could get a Yokomo BD11 I found it for
Yokomo,
£599.
they used to make cars years ago. I didn't realise they... I mean, I haven't seen your research here, but...
So the Yokomo BD11, 599 quid I found it for. Recommended retail price on that one though, 720 quid, boss.
Wow.
So it's still quite expensive.
It's up there. It's up there.
Next is one of your favourite brands actually. You love the look of the Awesomatix, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, but you could pick up something like that. Awesomatix, £545.
Okay. We're getting lower. Still too expensive for me, if I'm honest.
It is. So let's think about some of the cheaper brands that we've seen around. I know when we were at the MTCs, you had the guys from Express there.
Yeah. Do they do a touring car?
They do a touring car. The XQ10R.
Right.
XQ10R.
But then again, their stuff's nice as well.
It's very nice.
They're all nice, aren't they?
Yeah,
Blingy and carbon and this, that and the other.
525 quid though. It's
Still too expensive.
Still quite expensive. Yeah. Bear in mind you haven't got any of your radio, any of your servos, any of your bits and bobs. So, next, Schumacher.
Schumacher. They recently, I say recently, it's been out a little while now, their new car's out. The Mi8, is it?
It is the Mi8, yeah. So that you can get for £519 I found it for. Which, do you know what? It's not too bad.
It's not.
It's the cheapest option.
Yeah, in relation to the others, correct. Yeah.
Out there. But we delve deeper and deeper, and we have actually found some companies maybe you guys haven't heard of before that do some slightly cheaper touring cars. There is one company out there, Team Powers. We had a review of their Fronty car on the channel recently, and they actually do a four-wheel drive 1/10 scale touring car. They call it a club car, so it's like for club racing as opposed to like the national racing. You can get that for 120 quid.
120 quid. That is a massive difference.
It is a massive difference. Now, that car, it still has quite a lot of adjustments that you can make to the car with regards to your toe, your camber, and your shock settings and all that sort of stuff. So it is a fully adjustable car. It's not carbon fibre though.
Right.
It's not as blingy as some of the other cars. But you know what? For 120 quid, if you want to get into 1/10 scale touring cars and get into the hobby, it's not a bad way to start, is it?
I sometimes think that getting a cheaper car is actually quite nice, because if you was, let's say, to get the most expensive one out of them, which is the Tamiya, which is what you was on about, you'd want to win. And 100%. If you didn't win, you'd be really quite annoyed, wouldn't you? I mean, I would.
Definitely.
Paying that sort of money.
Yeah, if you were spending £1,000 on the car and I'm spending 200 quid on the car, if you beat me, I've got an excuse. I say, it's your car.
Exactly.
So,
so you kind of buying an excuse. Okay, I see.
Buying an excuse.
No, it's but yeah, you know, it's you'd want the best, wouldn't you? And again, if you were going to get a top end chassis, you'd want to get top end electrics to go with that chassis, and that would double the price, if not
everything
price,
steps up. But so Team Powers, they've got this. I think the car's called an R3G.
Yeah.
And it's 120 quid. Really nice looking car, but they also do a slightly more hopped up version, fully carbon fibre, and that is the T3M, and that car looks amazing. I mean, it's got the carbon fibre wishbones. Do you know what? That car comes in under 300 quid, that one. So
see, now that is
fully carbon fibre. It's
doable, isn't it?
It's doable. So we're starting to make a bit of progress now. Okay, so if you are going to get yourself into touring car racing, there's another thing you need to consider now then. You've got modified. What is a modified class, boss?
Modified, well, that's as fast as you like, right?
That is as fast as you like. That's the fast boys. At our local club, we've got some fast boys.
Yeah.
They run 13.5 turn, don't they?
Well, we used to run 13.5 turn with them, and I absolutely found that it was probably too quick for some of the tracks that we were going to, being it as we were doing a lot of club racing back then. You know.
So the stock class these days is a 17.5, which is a little bit slower again. Now, what I believe is if you're travelling that little bit slower, you could probably afford to have a little bit of not put quite so much money into the car.
Yeah.
Really, I don't think it needs to be quite as expensive.
No.
So maybe we can get away with a slightly cheaper car.
I think so.
17.5 turn.
17.5 turn, slightly cheaper car. Sounded good to me.
Let's see how fast we can get them, shall we?
I reckon so.
All right. So, if you'd like to join us on our touring car journey, what do they need to do, boss?
You need to tune in, like, subscribe, and of course smash the old ding dong bell.
That's it.
So you don't miss anything.
They don't miss anything. So, yeah, let's go get some touring cars.
Come on then, get your wallet up.